Everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Laura Nerbonis and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I am having so much fun playing with our new 2025 to 2026 annual catalog, and I wanted to show you a very adorable card using one of the new suites. So if you have the catalog, you can find this main suite on page 48 and 49. It's called Turtel-y Cute, but throughout the catalog you will also notice these turtles show up in some of our scrapbooking kits, and there is coordinating little stickers for those, and I think they are even featured in a few other places around the catalog, but they're great. They're very fun and easy to use. I'm not using it today, but there is a stamp set with those little turtles and coordinating dies, but the featured products that I'm using are mainly the designer series paper. This is the Turtel-y Cute designer paper. We're going to play a little bit with these really cute hexagons. They're called Shades of Green Hexagons, and the embossing folder. Now this embossing folder is called Turtle Textures, and it's perfect because it looks like a tortoise or a turtle shell. And so we're going to use that in the background of our card to make a fun little birthday card. So my little guy is turning 9 this month, and he does really love reptiles of all sorts. So I thought I would make him a little amphibious turtle and, play around with this set for his birthday. So if you would like to follow along with me, I'm going to give you all the measurements and you can copy the card, or you can even take this card layout and make something of your own. So one idea for you guys, I did this one a few months ago with my card class, but this is the same basic layout where I've got a base and a cardstock and a designer series layer, and then I've just embellished with a sentiment and some imagery. This was from that birthday suite, birthday celebrations. And so I'm just switching things around and adding a few different details to make my turtle card. So don't be afraid to play with what you have, but if you'd like to make this card exactly, you can follow along. And if you're missing anything, my website is listed at the bottom, lauranerbonis.stampinup.net. I would love to be your demonstrator here in Canada, so please reach out if you have questions or need a catalog. But of course, you can shop online, and there's some great online exclusives available as well. So let's get going. First off, we need a base. So my garden green piece of paper is going to be cut 5.5 by 8.5. And there is a score line. It's hiding in here at 4 1/4. That's going to give me a very standard open and shut card. Okay. Now with my embossing folder, that Turtle Impressions right here, we're going to run that through your cut and emboss machine just on one side of the paper. So that 4 1/4 inch line that you can barely see is kind of your note to self of where the embossing folder should line up to. And then it's up to you which side you choose, because they both look great. You could have the impressions kind of poking in or poking out. Whatever you choose, you're going to then fold your card in half, making one of those pages your card front. You will have to be quite generous with your bone folder, and then gentle on the side that has the impressions, because you don't want to flatten all of that hard work that you've done. Okay, let's flip this around so we don't make any mistakes. Now, I always like to put something on the inside of my cards so that I have something to write on. Usually I use white or vanilla, maybe even basic beige, but today I'm being very daring and I'm putting a lemon lolly piece inside there. Oh, you didn't cut very crisply. That's better. And this piece is going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4. So you can put that on just with the adhesive of your choice, some tape, seal, or glue. And of course, you're always welcome to come back later and do a little bit of stamping, or maybe you have some scraps of designer paper that you can use to decorate the inside of your card. I thought it was different and kind of fun to do that one. Back to the front of our card, we're going to start our layers. So the first layer, oops, I cut the wrong thing here. Hold on, I need Granny Apple Green. Where are you? I cut myself another garden green. Nobody wants that. Let's do Granny Apple Green. This one is going to be 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. We grabbed our trimmer. There, swap that one out. We'll use it for something later. And here we go, Granny Apple Green, 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. I'm going to pop this piece up on some dimensionals and center it onto my card. Now, the Turtle Impressions folder is very detailed, so I'm going to use my nice big dimensionals. They'll cover a bit more surface area on top of this embossing, and hopefully everything will stay attached. Center that in here. There we go. Next is going to be some designer series paper. So this paper package is absolutely adorable. You can see what I have left after prepping some different events. These are the turtles that I'm cutting out for the front of this card, as you can tell, but there's so many different designs. You can use the fronts of these, you can use the backs of these, whatever appeals to you. Just keep in mind that you may fall in love with the front of one page, and then if you're using the back of it, you wouldn't have enough turtles to cut out for something else. So just be mindful of both sides of the paper. I really liked this piece that had kind of the turtle shell on it. Those are the In the Park turtles. So I'm going to sacrifice them and cut this at 3 inches by 4 inches. Put a little bit of adhesive on there and add this to the front of my card. So I did mention I was not using the Turtel-y Cute dies, and that is because I wanted to use a set of dies that I've been having a lot of fun with lately. If you head back to my inventory of videos on my Lauren Scraplot YouTube page, you'll see that I have used these dies quite a few times recently, and they are called the Everyday Arches. So these dies, here's the original stamp that they came with. There's also a birthday one out now. We are going to grab the second smallest and the third smallest. Okay, so I've already cut, but I'm just going to show you. The third smallest, we're going to cut out garden green. And the second smallest, you're going to cut out something to stamp a sentiment on. So again, any sort of pattern that appeals to you, but that's going to be this second size. These arches are really, really fun just to add a little bit of character to your project without having to, own a bunch of different things. Pretty much along with the Stylish Shapes dies, I'm using the Everyday Arches most often. Before I glue these two together, because, we all make mistakes sometimes, we're going to do our stamping. And I really, really wanted a fun special day sentiment, so I grabbed the Cutest Cows stamp set. It says it's your special day. You can grab anything you want, whatever birthday sentiment you have in your collection, just something small, and we're going to stamp in Memento Black right along the right-hand side of that designer series paper. I know it does look a little bit busy, but that's okay. You can read it when you're up close. We are going to attach designer series paper to cardstock with a flat adhesive. Something very simple. And then we're going to pop the dimensionals underneath this garden green here. Okay, so those should fit right together. Turn that over and grab yourself a couple dimensionals, and we'll pop this up. Now the finishing touch to this card, oh, we have two more steps. We have gems and a little turtle friend, is going to be choosing a birthday turtle. So the one that I have on my sample is this little guy holding a red balloon. You also have turtles bringing presents and turtles holding cakes. And these turtles are fun because you can basically give them a balloon, give them an ice cream cone, or give them a piece of cake. Whatever you want to do, it's a build it yourself turtle. But I thought I would go with the old grandpa turtle here, and he's got a little present. Some of the dies complement a few of our turtles, but you'll just have to kind of pick and choose which ones work. They do all complement the stamp sets, so if I wanted to sit here and color, I could have easily had this die cut for myself, which pretty much would be the same amount of time, I think, coloring versus fussy cutting. But remember, fussy cutting rule is that it does not have to be absolutely perfect. In fact, you want to leave a little bit of white around your image, and that is the way to kind of fool everyone into thinking you've done a perfect cut job, because the white will trick their eyes and kind of helps them lose focus on the fact that some of these sections are not quite even. So don't stress about fussy cutting, just let it happen. Won't all look identical, and that's okay. Perfect. Okay, there we go. We've got our little grandpa turtle with his glasses, and he's ready to go onto the card. So that I make sure he's popped up properly, I'm going to put dimensionals right on this striped designer paper. If I was to put them on his head or his feet, they would end up kind of falling off of that little label, and Grandpa Turtle might be a little lopsided. So one large dimensional is all you need for this. You're just going to pop him on, and I put him kind of with his shell off the edge of this, so it kind of makes a little bit of a mystery where the edge of that die is. Last but not least, I promised we were going to play with those beautiful gems. So these are those hexagons, which are quite shiny and unique. And we're just going to add a few of them to the card. So it's completely up to you where they go, but the general kind of idea is you want 3 of them somewhere along the way. There we go. And there is your Turtel-y awesome birthday card. I hope you guys enjoyed this card. If you have any questions, I would love to hear back from you. Please consider hitting the like button on the video or making a comment. I love hearing perhaps which turtle card you like the best, or if there was a different turtle that you would really like to see in action in the future. I look forward to crafting with you guys again next Tuesday at noon for another edition of Show Me How It's Done. Bye.